All right, folks. Hey, we got a $3 XRP monthly close. I'm seeing some worried folks out there, a little bit of panic in the markets because we fell below $3 once again here slightly. But in tonight's live show, we're going to be breaking down this market, current events, cryptocurrency, broader financial markets, and how to take advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. Fully stacked lineup for tonight, so I'm going to get right on into the show. We'll get through our update, and then I do want to take everybody's comments, questions. Come on in here, provide some value, ask a question. More than likely, there's other people that have the same question that you do. Everybody's wondering, are we still going to make it? Is that alt season still coming? Do I hold a bag of crap, Zach? And you know the answer to that question. Do you want me to tell you what you want to hear? Or do you want me to tell you what you need to hear? Okay? We're going to be talking about it. Full update for you guys here today. Not worried in the slightest. It's why I picked out the XRP Perseverance ship shirt for tonight's live show. Okay? Because either you're on the ship with us or you're not. And I feel bad for the people that are going to get left behind because it's just very clear there are only a few utility cryptocurrencies that are actually ready to solve trillion-dollar problems at scale. Moving that type of liquidity across the network is no joke. And what we got was insights from David this week on why the banks haven't, quote-unquote, flipped the switch using the public DEX quite yet, right? But once we roll out a few more of these amendments like permission domains, which will allow these institutional entities to come into an environment using the XRP Ledger DEX, but knowing who else is within that permission DEX, that walled garden. You know, you think that some of these new people that are coming into crypto, you think that they're dipping their toes in the water, want to make sure it's safe. These banks and institutions that are moving trillions of dollars on a daily basis, this is not a game getting set up to move this type of liquidity. Now, today we get this update from Paul Atkins, chairman of the SEC, letting us know that we're going to be tokenizing all of these markets. And I'm going to talk about why this is so important. It all goes back to Ripple XRP and just how valuable this is. The shares of Ripple under attack with a hostile takeover in the Link 2 situation, further reiterating how valuable the shares of the company Ripple actually are. How far are they willing to go to steal that equity? Literally in the billions of dollars from the XRP community. They're willing to go the full length. And this all goes back to what we've established with the red folder in the XRP community. Fast forward here to the ETF race. I mean, if this is an actual race like NASCAR, they've let Bitcoin go since January of 2024. They've let Ethereum go for over a year now. Tens of billions of dollars pouring into these assets and saving the poor bag holders. Maybe some of you guys are the bag holders of Bitcoin and Ethereum. They say praise the institutions and the ETFs for all this liquidity, even though Ethereum still hasn't been able to break up to a new all-time high. It's struggling. But what happens next when they finally let XRP, Solana, Dogecoin, Pepe, Pengu. I mean, they're going to have a Fartcoin ETF before they have an XRP ETF at this pace. And that's okay, because eventually they have to let it go. Eventually the storm does move on, and it's very clear what comes next for XRP. It's a new all-time high, more than likely double digits this year. I'm looking at a $7 to $15 target by September 7th. Follow the timeline, please. Don't get off track. Don't be distracted and don't jump off the ship. Stay the course. It's so clear. From a 2 + 2 still equals 4. Literally, this is what we're talking about. It's so simple. The inflows coming in from the ETFs will drive XRP higher. We've seen it for Bitcoin. We're not seeing it for Ethereum because there's just not demand. But there's a tremendous amount of demand for XRP, and we're seeing it in the spot markets right now. We're seeing it in how well XRP and these utility assets have performed since the election. I mean, goodness gracious, we looked so silly. They called us the ISO crowd. Oh yeah, you guys got your ISO coins? And whether you want to break down the technicals on what an ISO coin is or isn't doesn't matter. The point being, it was all fun and games until the election, until the new reality. The storm had passed. And this is the calm before the next storm. The next storm is the shakeout on the way up. You think that this has been an emotional roller coaster, just going to a new all-time high of 360, coming back to $3. If you can't handle this, whoa, we might have to put you in the underbelly. We might have to get you a little blankie, some warm milky milk, and maybe I can read you a bedtime story too. We can get you comfy down here. All jokes aside, we do it by talking about the fundamentals, which just continue to get better and better. There's no reason why the market should be going down, but the market makers are still in control. With the Tether tool being the primary facility for manipulation in the cryptocurrency market, Tether's still running free. And now they're going to have a 3-year grace period to come in and adopt the US regulation. So not only did Bitcoin and Ethereum get the free pass and the head start on the ETFs, now Tether's going to be allowed 3 years to figure it out. 3 years to find some money. One of the best things they ever did was probably backing Tether by gold. And the investment in Bitcoin even worked out a little bit for them too. Where are the rest of the reserves? Well, we're going to find out. And so Tether has 3 years to find them, right? Probably a little bit sooner than that, but you get my point. But eventually, the truth will set you free. And in regards to XRP price, along with XLM, which did 600% after the election, along with HBAR, which did 800% after the election, along with Sologenic, which did 900% after the election, and some of those other ISO silly coins that we were made fun of for holding. These guys would debate what's ISO, what's not ISO. All that matters is, will institutions adopt it? Is retail in it now? Does it have any momentum now from a retail standpoint? If not, it better have some institutional liquidity coming in. If it doesn't, it's probably not in my bag. And I got a bag, I got some bags that I am looking to offload, that's for sure. But thank goodness we went heavy on utility, and utility based in America, ZBCN ran, still running, back up over half a penny, not done. And that has been such an interesting inverse correlation with the rest of the market. XRP comes down, ZBCN goes up. So it's been a nice little play for those that are in it. DAG. I'm going to talk about DAG again here. Just because Ripple XRP wasn't outlined in the Presidential Working Group report doesn't mean that they're not involved. That's what it wasn't about, mentioning Ripple and XRP. I'm going to talk about what was in that report, what wasn't. But I want to stress once again for the new people here, there's no panic. We're completely calm. We prepared ourselves with cash still on the sideline, just like Warren Buffett. We might not be putting billies on the sideline, but they're now 30% cash. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why we've kept cash on the sidelines too. And I just told the Discord group before I got on here, no reason to worry. Make sure your margin's tapped up. Make sure you got some liquidity on the sidelines to cover your butt if they want to black swan us, if they want to hit us with something crazy. August typically is a slower month, but this is when we've seen alt seasons start in the past. And without a doubt, XRP has massive momentum behind it here. Let's get right on into the update, because I do want to get to Q&A so that we can get a vibe check from everybody in the community. Before I get started, let's announce tonight's giveaway. We're going to be giving away hats. I want to give a shout out to 1970 Legend. He gave us a big super chat. He said, hey, let's give away some hats. And so we're going to do 10 hats for the first orders that come in tonight. So if you place an order here at zachrector.com for any of our merch, whether it be a dog tag, whether you go buy some of our other hats, whether it be some of our shirts, sweatshirts, long sleeve, we got it all. We're going to include a free hat with your order. Okay, so the first 10, I'm going to be watching. I'll go back and check my email in our systems, and I'll see who are the first 10 orders that came in tonight for merch, and you'll be getting a free hat, and it's going to have the XRP family, this embroidered patch on it. And if you do want a flex fit instead of a Richardson 112, just put that in the notes with your order. Whatever you order on the shop, just say, hey, Zach, I'd like the Richardson 112, or Richardson 112 or the flex fit. Just let us know, and we'll take care of that. And we got more hats that just went live on the website. Leather XRP family hats are live. The leather patch, I like that one. And with these are with the flex fit right here. For those of you guys with the big heads, that's good. We got the flex fits in here. This is the flex style patch. Interesting one too on the flex fit white. Check these out. ZachRector.com/shop. Trump XRP is in the building. White, red, and gray. That blue suit and the detail on these patches is just tight. I'm not even that big of a hat guy, but these are beautiful. And we got more on the way, including the black. We're just going to go out with the simple one too. Black XRP for the low key. I like to keep it low key too. And then we also got a white XRP patch that's coming in as well too. These are not available yet, but that's on the way shortly. Just waiting for inventory to get in. We should be live with these by next week. Okay, there's your infomercial. Well, one quick word from your sponsor, which is yours truly. Couldn't do it without your support. If you don't want to support us, that's okay. We just ask for your reaction. Give us a tap it. Give us a smack it. If you don't like it, that's okay too. We just ask for you to stop by and say hi. And always bring some value to the conversation in the chat, and we'll get to your Q&A here shortly. Let's go rapid fire with it. God bless all of you guys. Thank you so much. 400 million liquidated from the cryptocurrency market in the past 4 hours. This is on top of the 600 million that was already wiped out earlier last week. And so over $1 billion wiped out and squeezed out of the retail traders who were trying to get slick with it. And by the way, I had one of my contracts on Coinbase liquidated too. Full disclosure, they wiped me out, and I don't think that they should have. I know I was good for it. They should have gave me a call. I would have said, okay, here's some more money. But whatever, I got down to my liquidation level, so they got me for one contract. That's okay. They didn't get my entire position. And since then, I just doubled up, tripled up, and we have more cash ready to deploy, because this is a trade that I'm not going to go away from, and I don't think that they can squeeze us much lower. So yeah, they liquidated many people, but the way that we trade this thing, low leverage with cash, always on the sidelines, they can't liquidate us. They're not going to take us out. Our ship is going to make it through this temporary storm that will end here shortly. When folks ask me why prices are dipping amid all this bullish news, I love reminding them that what sparked this rally was just this simple tweet right here. This is from Brad Whiffhat. I had the pleasure of meeting him in XRP Las Vegas, but he reminds us, one tweet from Arthur Brito on June 23rd. Isn't that an interesting connection? I'm going to make sure you guys can see that. It's kind of a small tweet there, small picture. One tweet, June 23rd. That was back when XRP was at $1.90. Hello, how you doing? All the way up to 360 new all-time high, just like that one tweet. And that's all it's going to take. Just like when President Trump said that XRP was going to be included in the crypto stockpile. And that was one thing that wasn't included, was any talk really of any individual cryptos within the stockpile. That was not really talked about. It was more about talking about the new rails, the new system, the guidance to the bureaucracy beast, reining that back in, and basically setting the rules of the road for entrepreneurs and capitalists to help America become the crypto capital of the world. That's what it was about. We'll talk about that more in a second. But all it's going to take here, one little tweet, SEC drops the appeal, first ETF goes live, and most likely they'll have multiple ETFs go live day one. All it takes is that little flip of the switch, and then you're in a new reality. You see, we were buying XRP at 20 cents, 40 cents, 50 cents, $1. I don't have to remind some of you guys, but for the new people here, as we've gone up in price, we enter a new reality where you get less XRP for your dollars. Okay, I understand I'm stating the obvious, but it needs to be reiterated for people who don't understand how far we've already come. We bought the blood in the streets under 20 cents like absolutely crazy people. They couldn't shake us out. And even if they bring out the aliens, we just don't care. Like, it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's not a big deal. I'll make sure we top off the account and the order goes through. We will be buying the dip on the aliens. Now, no aliens yet, but the tariffs are back and we're raising it on Canada, our brothers and sisters up north. Sorry, it has to be this way. Mark Carney wants to play tough. So President Trump hitting many others too. We're going to be watching this, but what we're seeing really is not much of a reaction from the markets. Crypto, yeah, it's pulled back. It's been a little bit stagnant. But we're back at key support levels, and there's just nothing to worry about. None of the bullish structure has been lost. It's all still intact. And Kobesi letter adds context. The market says the trade war has lost all credibility. President Trump just randomly decided to raise tariffs on Canada from 25 to 35%. And we know that, what Trump does is not random, but, I understand his comment, right? I mean, and the deadline was August 1st. So it's not random by the timeline, and it's not random because we know what we're up against with Mark Carney trying to play hardball. On top of this, he imposed reciprocal tariffs on Vietnam, Switzerland, South Africa, Taiwan, Cambodia, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Turkey, and Venezuela. Meanwhile, the S&P futures are down a mere 10 points, almost entirely due to Amazon's weak earning results. In April, this headline would have sent the S&P 500 3% lower. When the terrorists first started to hit, Liberation Day, April 6th, right, and XRP went back below $2. Here we are. The trade war has lost its shock effect on markets. We have been completely desensitized. And I'm not even joking that you guys in the chat and the rest of the people in the crypto space and just the retail investing crowd has been programmed like robots to buy the dip, myself included. It's just fun because we understand the fundamentals. So it's just, okay, it's a data entry, hit the button, on to the next one. XRP comes back down to $3, buy. It used to be XRP comes back down to 20 cents. XRP comes back down to 40 cents. You get my point. Now we're coming back down to $3 and people think it's a sale. And this is why that buy wall is holding up so well on our digital assets. The market makers can squeeze us out here a little bit. They're getting people to pile in short, capitulate, and say, okay, bull run's over, I'm going short, right before they send us up higher. Now, this is Bo Hines getting questioned by Eleanor Terrett, and they had an interview here on their show, Crypto in America, with the President Trump's what's Bo Hines' official title? It is the Executive Director, President's Council of Advisors for Digital Assets. Now, I'm going to play this clip and I'm going to chime in on his comments. I think it's completely out of line, and you guys can probably imagine where I'm going to go with this. So I'll just run the clip and we'll see the live reaction here.
I would love to know what's the update on a potential Bitcoin strategic reserve.
Well, look, we have it. It's been established through executive order in the SPR. We also have the strategic national stockpile. The digital assets national stockpile. I think that we wanted to recognize Bitcoin for being unique, and we talk about what that looks like. And
it is not unique in any other way other than being the first blockchain really live for retail and accepted. That's the only uniqueness that Bitcoin has. We need to stop this activity of acting like this is the one and only almighty source of truth in the digital, distributed ledger technology world. It's only Bitcoin, and it's completely unique. It is not. And that is a fact, indisputable fact. Bo Hines, we have to stop it.
Kind of the threshold that Bitcoin has created. It's in a class of its own, and everyone recognizes that. But we also wanted to give credence to the work and the development that's happening across other ecosystems, and that's why we have this national stockpile alongside. This actually requires some labor to get this set up properly. You have to build the infrastructure. You have to make sure that you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's to get this done the right way and have long-term success with it. But I've said ad nauseum, we do believe in accumulation, obviously in budget neutral ways, as the president's outlined. But there are countless ways that we can engage in that. We'll act on those that can be most expeditiously implemented. And I think that, people will be very pleased with the direction that we go in, and we'll start moving on that in short order. But obviously in this report, if you read the first Digital Assets EO, we're tasked with creating a clear and robust regulatory framework. And so that's what we focus on here. We understand the importance of the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve. We're enormous fans of Bitcoin and the Bitcoin community, and we want to deliver for them as well. And I'm certain.
Yeah, it's very obvious, Bo. It goes without saying, right, that you guys are very big fans of Bitcoin. And I think it's actually a hindrance of us moving further and faster along with this technology and adoption and regulations as well, too.
No, we will.
How much Bitcoin does the federal government have?
I can't discuss that right now.
Come on, give us a ballpark.
I can't.
Is it going to be made public?
There are several reasons in which we're not disclosing that at this time. There might be a time in which we do. But what I will say is, we want as much as we can possibly get. And that's what I continue to say, and we're going to continue to work on that.
I would love.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Bo says. That's what all the Bitcoin bros say. Until I hear it out of President Trump's mouth himself, I'm not accepting it. You know, these guys can run around and say all this. And with all due respect to Bo Hines, because I think he is doing an all right job. I mean, it's just progress. We are moving in the right direction. Is it the best guy in that position? Are we moving along as fast as I would like to be? Right? We could talk about that. We are moving in the right direction, but we waste our breath. We waste our time by trying to talk about Bitcoin being unique. Does it solve the real problems that institutions have, that people actually have? Being a store of value does solve a problem. So we pay our respects, right? It is unique probably in the way that it's the only digital asset that its only utility is a store of value, right? At least its only efficient, utility is being a store of value. And it's been relatively efficient, but there are better performers during given time frames. And we've really been honed in since the election. It's just not even close. But with all due respect to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and every other blockchain, I think that it's just a disservice to continue harping on Bitcoin being unique and special and all this, when we just need to be moving along with the level playing field. The marketplace will decide. That's what made this country great. And that's why we've gotten so far away. You got people and children being taught that socialism is the only answer because they think that capitalism is so evil and so wrong and it's failed us, without understanding that we've had crony capitalism. We have not had a free marketplace where every person who shows up and brings good product and value can thrive. That's not what we've been operating under. And they've continued this with how they've regulated digital assets up until this point. Operation 1.0, 2.0, and now 3.0 pretty much underway, with them allowing the ETFs to go live first. It's all good. You know, even for me at this point, it's like, it's fine. You guys did what you did. Like, that's how desperate you were. To me, it's a sign of weakness. That you guys had to give yourselves a free pass and a head start on the ETFs is a sign of weakness. But we're going to see how much money pours into the XRP ETFs once they go live, right? We're going to see how well XRP performs going forward from here, along with our other utility assets that we suggest are actually going to be fundamental to making America the crypto capital of the world, right? Partnering up with companies like Ripple. And at this point, the only thing that makes sense to me is Ripple already has been working so closely on that new financial system, maybe already partnered up with Treasury. And this is why they can't make it obvious at this point. It's a national security mission, RLUSD, along with USDC, and even allowing Tether to come into compliance. They say, yes, you've been shady, but you keep on expanding US dollar dominance. And so at a certain point, are they going to have to pay to play and maybe pay a fine? They'll have some issues, but apparently they're going to be allowed to come into compliance over a 3-year period as the Genius Act was written. Okay. Now, we did get our $3 close. I'll talk about that here shortly. SEC Chair Paul Atkins unveils Project Crypto, a commission-wide. And real quick, the point that I wanted to make, everybody's upset. And even I thought that they were going to talk about the national stockpile a little bit more, and even the strategic reserve a little bit more. I thought they were going to talk about Bitcoin more. I thought that they were going to talk about the national stockpile more, but they didn't. It was more just about the fundamental system and setting that regulatory framework. And so I'm expecting them in follow-up here that they are going to be having those conversations. Eventually, we will get it disclosed to us how much Bitcoin they have and how much we're actually going to try to acquire. And along with the other digital assets that will be included in that as well. Okay? But this is us going in the right direction, undoubtedly. SEC Chair Paul Atkins unveiling Project Crypto, a commission-wide push to modernize securities rules and move U.S. financial markets on chain. All right. And so this is live from Paul Atkins here today, moving us forward. Eleanor Terrett with the breakdown. He gave a landmark speech today at the America First Policy Institute. Okay. Here are the key highlights. The SEC will draft new rules for crypto asset distributions, ICOs, airdrops, etc. We need clarity on that, along with when tokens are securities versus commodities. develop tailored disclosures in safe harbor. It's about damn time, excuse my French. Atkins confirms support for tokenization of stocks, bonds, and other assets and promised relief for firms seeking to issue tokenized securities in the United States. This is about to explode. The U.S. market unlock. Like Brad Garlinghouse keeps on reminding us, he keeps on saying that we are underestimating the U.S. market unlock. I would echo that statement. The speech also hit back at prior SEC actions, including Operation Choke Point 2.0 and the SAB 121, which he named as barriers that drove crypto offshore. Atkins emphasized the right to self-custody while also pledging to revise rules for registered custodians, BNDs, and RIAs to handle crypto assets. He also proposed a super app regulatory framework to allow a single platform to offer crypto plus securities trading, staking, lending, and more, all done under one roof without needing dozens of overlapping licenses from multiple regulators. You know, talking with some of these people, it is incredible what it takes to actually bring an ETF to the marketplace. It's incredible. And this is why many companies aren't even going public right now. It's a big problem. And when Paul Atkins goes on CNBC, they keep on asking him about this, mentioning how big of a problem it is that companies are choosing to stay private instead of go public because of the regulatory burden, right? The cost. And so really opening all this up and allowing somebody to come in and set up a shop that is going to service people and Americans right in a regulated environment, no games being played, and let the best asset managers and registered investment advisors and hedge funds win. That's what America is supposed to be about. Not, Prometheum or whatever the company, right? Prometheus or Prometheum. What was the name of the company? They got the first license to sell securities. What's the first token that they list? Ethereum. It's like, oh, that's awkward, right? All this picking winners and losers. You have to get 6 different licenses on a national level. You have to get individual license for each state. Just the cost and the burden that they've put on bringing, and this is what excites me the most. All done under one roof, and I'm going to talk about it next, is the tokenization of private equity and what this does to really bring a level playing field to our capital markets. I'm going to talk about that more in just 1 second here. I want to finish off this thread from Eleanor Terrett. This brings DeFi and on-chain software getting special attention too. Atkins wants to distinguish code publishers from intermediaries and create regulatory space for both decentralized and centralized models. An innovation exemption is also in the works, which meant to let startups launch quickly with flexible compliance conditions as long as they prioritize investor protections. And he made it clear that the SEC will no longer regulate crypto through enforcement alone. He called the moment a generational opportunity to bring crypto back onshore. And so you're not crying about a $3 XRP, are you? You're not crying about the market makers just playing around a little bit, liquidating the traders, are you? If you're one of those traders, that's the game we play. I myself got caught. I caught a stray bullet. I caught one too. Coinbase cleaned me up. Not all the way though. Okay? That's the game we play. You got to laugh. You got to sit back and laugh and understand and hold yourself accountable. You went to the casino, and some of you guys are going crazy with the leverage, and you went all in with all your liquidity. And then we wonder why, time after time again, in the matter of 1 week, the market makers take $1 billion in liquidations from us. There's a little saying, FAFO. You might know what I'm talking about. That's what happens. You're playing in a rigged casino. But the beauty of this is the rigged casino is no more once we move to full tokenization of these markets. And that's what I'm so excited about. I'm going to show you one example of what I'm talking about. I mentioned how companies don't want to go public because of the regulatory burden and cost. Well, here's what happens when they do. This is John Wang. He says Figma, which is a big IPO that just happened, just left $2.3 billion on the table, nearly double what they actually raised. They IPO'd at $33 per share. Target open at $95. That's not market excitement. It's deliberate underpricing and legalized theft by investment banks who sold it cheap to their institutional buddies. Retail shoves in at open and gets used as exit liquidity. Same playbook. DoorDash, 3.4 billion. Airbnb, 3.5 billion. 2021 total, 50 billion. Stolen from retail investors who were used as exit liquidity. They don't even know it. But these investment bankers in 2020, this cartel stole over 100 billion that should have gone to real value creators, founders, employees, and retail. But who gets it? The investment bankers, because it's a funnel. To go public, you got to come in, you got to go through the investment bankers, you got to get it approved by the SEC. It's the same big group of investment bankers. It's one big club, and we ain't in it, unless maybe some of you guys work for these big investment banks. And this is what they do, right? They get the IPO, pre-IPO at $30 per share, 33, and then they open it up to retail at 95. And I was reading in the comments about how Robinhood allowed investors on their platform to get one share. And what this does is, at one share at 95, perfect for retail, perfect for people that have an extra $100. And I'm sure that when you open the Robinhood app, you got the flash notification, new ticker available, FIG, which is kind of a cute little ticker that they got, FIG. I've barely looked into this company a little bit. I see that they popped, but the point being is these investment bankers design a pop on IPO day. It's all by design. And we've seen some of these, like Circle did continue running up after it went public, right? But the reason why I'm so excited about the tokenization is it provides a level playing field where if a company doesn't want to go public, they don't have to, and they'll still have plenty of liquidity in the private markets because of the tokenization process, which will allow individual retail investors to invest in private equity before these companies go public. So we get to price discovery faster. That's the point. Instead of the company goes to the investment bank says, thank you. And then it turns around and goes to the retail traders on Robinhood. Here you go, Robinhood. Give each one of the peasants one share. This is a great plan. We're going to take it public. Here you go. Here's some shares. But we're only going to allow you to sell one share to the little peasant traders on your platform. And I mean, no disrespect. I'm not calling you a peasant. I'm telling you how these investment bankers think. This is how they rule the world. Okay? And this is what's happening with the Link2 situation. A hostile takeover of some of the most valuable shares in the world. Literally. Ripple equity, along with some of the other little potential unicorns on that platform. Uphold, others, right? Even the Link2 platform was a success, right? And we're going to be seeing everything's going to come out in this situation. But it's another example of private equity profiteers and what they're willing to do. Just like with this Figma IPO. This is how the game has been rigged against the retail, the non-accredited, the unsophisticated, the too poor to participate. And like I said, I mean no disrespect. I'm just saying Gary Gensler wanted to take it from $1 million to $10 million to be an accredited investor. These guys literally want you to stay poor. That was the plan all along. But we broke free. Now, Cowboy Crypto is kind of echoing the statements that I made earlier about folks being disappointed about Ripple XRP not being listed in the president's working group on digital assets, that document that they put out. But if you look in, I mean, they're talking about everything that Ripple and XRP are doing. I've seen several know-it-alls saying the White House hates Ripple and they want nothing to do with them. But why would they cite a CNBC article quoting Brad Garlinghouse in their crypto report if they hate them so much? People make me laugh. And I completely agree. We've seen it time and time again. And you have this retail trader mindset of, oh, it didn't pump today, right? These guys are expecting the market to pop on the day when these big events drop. And that's typically never how it works out. And then when we see that Ripple and XRP wasn't mentioned specifically, then folks start to panic. But it would have been meant, and I said it was going to be, because the only reason why I said that it was going to be mentioned is because I thought that they were talking about the strategic stockpiles in this report as well. They vaguely touched on it, but didn't go into detail. And so that's why XRP wasn't mentioned. I thought that it was going to be, but they didn't talk about the stockpiles. But they're talking about how these new system, the new financial system is going to be rolled out, how we become the crypto capital of the world. And if you actually know what's happening here and have been paying attention, you understand that Ripple and XRP is perfectly positioned, if not one of the best positioned institutions in America to help President Trump fulfill this goal. Now, continuing on, another one who's right there is Constellation Network, and the ticker's DAG, DAG. Dagnum Pi says the White House report repeatedly discusses oracles as critical for bridging blockchain with real-world data, enabling smart contracts based on external events, like prices. Reminder, Constellation doesn't need external oracles to verify information because metagraphs can verify them directly. Now, if you look on down below here, Ben Jorgensen, who is the CEO of Constellation Network, says metagraphs are oracles. Exactly. A blockchain focus for data in a company and Constellation Network that is 100% based in America and is already signed up, has live contracts with the Department of Defense. Once again, this is a matter of national security. It's not a game. It even goes further than maintaining the gold standard of capital markets. It goes as far as securing our country from a military standpoint, verifying data on chain. This is exactly what DAG, a Constellation Network, is working on right now, live with our government. And it's the same thing we've talked about with Ripple XRP. XRP can solve that debt, currency, and liquidity crisis. And almost nobody is better positioned than Ripple to serve as a gratis vendor, as Howard Lutnick brought up. A company, somebody who offers their services or products to the government for free. And I've talked about this, and I still think there's a great deal to be done. Maybe it's not for free, but a deal for our treasury to acquire some XRP from Ripple. We know Ripple has no cost basis. So there's an incredible deal to be done there. And the thing, too, I want to add about DAG and Constellation Network is I was wondering, I said, okay, we're going to find out, because if Elon Musk and Doge go through and they find, that the Constellation Network government contract was bogus or crap, right? Or, it was looting the treasury, they would have called him out. They would have been gone. I've only seen them doubling down. They're about to go live with their DEX over on Constellation Network, and they continued in their ongoing phase. They're in their second or third phase of their partnership with the Department of Defense right now. So as I've been saying, utility based in America, it's what I'm so bullish on right now. And I tripled up on my DAG bag a couple weeks ago. Full disclosure. Had to double it up, and then I tripled it up. Now, let's talk about prices going up, because obviously everybody's worried about prices going down. What comes this quarter, 100%, invest in the inevitable, are the XRP spot ETFs. When you look at the Ethereum monthly inflows, skyscraper, Nate Garassi says. That's how he describes this monthly chart for the inflows, over 4 billion in July into the iShares Ethereum Trust. So this is just into the iShares alone. One ETF. Boom. And he's sticking with his prediction that BlackRock will launch both XRP and Solana ETFs. Doesn't make sense that the world's largest asset manager and current leader in both spot Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs would ignore two top 5 non-stablecoin crypto assets. I also expect them to launch index-based crypto ETF. Now, the SEC yesterday put out the guidelines and the checklist for getting an ETF listed. So you might be wondering, well, how's BlackRock going to get caught up in the race here, because they haven't filed anything yet? Everybody else's final deadline is in October. So we're for sure going to have these ETFs by October, most likely September, October timeframe. But the final deadline's come in October. And BlackRock is so far behind, you would think, right? Well, now that the SEC is going to have this framework laid out, this checklist, as long as BlackRock checks off all the boxes, and obviously BlackRock could probably fudge it a little bit and they'd still be able to get a pass in, right? And so they're going to get caught up to speed, and I anticipate that they will be a last-minute filer. And with this new checklist, the SEC can say, oh, yeah, BlackRock, come on in. No, you're a little bit late. No worries, our friends. Larry, not a problem, brother. Not a problem, Larry. Come on in. Absolutely, we'll get you caught up to speed. And that's how the game is, right? But what happens next is tens of billions of inflows into XRP over the next year. And this is why I'm just going to stay so firm on my price targets. Let's go to the XRP price chart, and then I'm going to open it up for you guys' comments and questions. If you love what we're doing here, please smack it for us. If you don't, that's okay too. Let us know how you feel in the comments down below. Thank you. XRP monthly chart. The party started in November when President Trump came in, and what a glorious monthly green candle that was in November, from 50 cents all the way up to $2. And then in December, we break up here to $3. And then in January, we go top out at about $3.40. We consolidate for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, basically 6 months of consolidation after that, all the way back down here to $1.60 when the April tariffs went live to shake out everybody. Was that the final shakeout below $2? We thought it was. And then, hello, they hit us with it again here in June. June 22nd, just a little over a month ago. They killed us down to $1.96, right? $1.90. All right. And then in the month of July, we see this thing take off. And it goes up to 366, which is a new all-time high for XRP. Now, you can't even see the monthly candle for August because we haven't moved yet. They worked so hard to suppress this thing. And for you guys that were paying attention, I did have to change the title and the thumbnail of this video because I do not engage in clickbait that I can't back up. I call it ethical clickbait. If it's in the title, if it's in the thumbnail, I am going to back it up. And I had titled this live show tonight, XRP highest monthly close ever. And I was watching the live show, or getting ready for the live show tonight, and I'm watching at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's midnight UTC, Universal Time. That's when the daily, and monthly candle closed. And I was watching them, they pushed it down. I was just hoping that we had closed it at least 304. Because in January, we closed off the month at 303. And that was the highest monthly close ever. And so that's what I had titled the thumbnail tonight in the live show tonight was going to be XRP highest monthly close ever. Because I was thinking, this is when XRP was at 310 earlier today. And I guess I jinxed it. So my apologies for ruining that. But we basically came back down here and it closed off at basically 302. I'm going to have to zoom in here on the daily just to give us a look here at where this thing actually decided to settle down at. Let's take a look at it. So, yeah, basically right at 302. So, not more than 1 cent below the highest monthly close ever. And this is just like the perfect way to mentally hit the XRP community. And this isn't just happening for XRP. This is happening in the broader altcoin space too. I mean, I'm sure some of you guys are worried about some of those bags you got too, right? But in the XRP community, right, we're getting ready for the highest monthly close ever again. We just printed a new all-time high after 7 years? We finally get back up here to a new all-time high. And what do they do to us? They beat us up all the way back down below $3. And they don't even give us the highest monthly close ever by a penny. They got to beat it on down here below 303. And they pushed it down to, I think, 296? Or, no, we did actually get, it was a deeper pullback here to 293. They hit a quick liquidation down to 293. as I started off the show tonight, 400 million liquidated from the crypto market in the past 4 hours. That was how they finished off today, right? So they just beat this thing up all the way down to 293. And I was just so glad because I was talking to some people in the Discord group. They were sending me messages and they were telling me how, they had orders placed. And that's the thing, is these things come and go so quickly. And you don't need to time the bottom. I mean, you'll look back and laugh about, wow, I was so worried about timing this, 1 cent, 2 cents here and there. Won't be a big deal when we look back at this. What you'll just be thankful for is that you were able to accumulate that bag of XRP, whatever that was, whatever you bought on this dip. Now, don't tell us how much XRP you have in the chat, but this is what it's about, right? Is continuing to accumulate strong fundamentals. And then what I do, if you have time and the risk tolerance to trade a little bit, use a small portion of your bag to try to grow the bag, to try to make some money, try to get slick with it. But as we've seen, with $1 billion liquidated in the past week from the cryptocurrency market, if you don't know what you're doing, you will literally get your shirt taken from you. And so this is why you need to get tapped in with real analysis. Don't be playing around out here. It is not the time for just straight hopium. And it's also time to ignore the FUD and the negativity. Don't let that drag you down. There's no reason for that right now. Obviously this extends further than just crypto. This is life. It's not the time to be around negative people. And you need to lock in on your portfolio because this altcoin season, I think it's going to come quick. And I think that, it's going to be very interesting to see how far out Bitcoin dominance bleeds out. XRP dominance, I was just listening to Waters Above Crypto today, and he was talking about XRP dominance going to 10, 12, 13%, with a total crypto market cap going up upwards of $6-7 trillion, and how it easily puts us at a $10 to $15 XRP. Like, it's just going to be so easy to go there for XRP, and it's going to be so easy and so quick when some of these projects pop off, like XLM to over $1, maybe a couple bucks on XLM. You're going to see XDC pop up to 50 cents. Maybe it'll push towards $1. I'm looking at coins like Sologenic, which just have ridiculous upside, like 20x upside. It's just crazy what it could potentially do. And I'm just thinking, man, imagine getting fudded out of your bags right now before blindfold yourself and throw a dart at this space, and you'll be able to make returns here, I think, in Q3. And it's going to be interesting to see if we actually hit that double top like we've done in previous cycles, which would carry us into November and December. Now, from there, we enter a new reality of utility. And so this time will be different. And this is where I say, if you don't have institutional inflows coming in, you better find some exit liquidity over the next few months, most likely, when these cryptos do pop, that aren't going to get institutional adoption. And if the main company driving the ecosystem and spearheading adoption for the ecosystem is not reporting institutional partners and conversations, at least, or proof of concepts going on, it's a big cause for concern, because there's no reason to be worried about regulations. We're not under attack. So if the rubber's not meeting the road, the project is most likely dying out. Okay, and you and many other people are going to be looking for exit liquidity. You need to understand what you hold right now, not just XRP because it's going to go to high prices. Some of the stuff that you guys have, do you want me to tell you what you want to hear, or do you want me to tell you what you need to hear? Now let's get to comments and questions and tickers. I guess we could talk about some of those tickers. Let me check and see. We did an XRP hat giveaway tonight. Let me check to see if we have our orders coming in. Okay, we still have some orders that can come in for the hats. Okay, yeah, we got a few orders that came in. And what I want to do now, what I'd like to do now here is open up that chat. Let me catch up. We got some super chats that came in. I appreciate you guys' support so much. Thank you. Petro Pro, thank you for the 5 spot. What's up, XRP family? XRP to $3 by August 1st. I bought in at $2 in November. Buy and hold. This is my Bitcoin moment. Trump is back. USA is strong again. Absolutely. You know, just it's not time to fight it. It's not time to say good guy, bad guy, left, right, up, down. I like this. I don't like this. Is the portfolio growing? Is the business ready to ride out the storm? I even called it out in my update earlier today. Yeah, GDP grew by 3%. Why? Because imports dropped by 30%. Now, some people said in the comments, well, Zach, that's good. That means that American business is building less imports. It's true. It is. But it's skewing the economic data to tell a better story than what's actually taking place on the ground. And every politician does it left, right, up, down. And so that's what I was trying to call out, is that yes, GDP grew. Yes, we're going to start making more stuff here. That's going to take some time. And that is going to be a little bit more costly, a cost that many of us Americans are willing to pay. We're willing to go through this growing pain. But the Main Street economy still has a long ways to go. And if we don't get relief on interest rates, that's the big one. With no relief in sight on interest rates, that's the big one. And I think that some people were wrongfully pricing in and thinking that a rate cut was coming here. It wasn't. And we knew that. And I also don't think that we're going to get a rate cut in September either. So there's no relief in sight for Main Street economy, for real estate, and for everybody who's heavy reliant on debt, which is what our economy runs on. I appreciate that, Petro. Thank you. Chosen One Collecting, thank you for the 5 spot. Trump recently posting about the Crypto Reserve Genius Act, Clarity Act coming soon. How is the price so volatile with so much positivity? Well, as I've explained here in tonight's update, it's just simply the market makers have taken advantage of a retail trader that is off on vacation. I think that you do have, you have a typical slowdown during this time of year where people are off on vacation. Literally, this is the month where most people are going to check out, and I would encourage you guys to double down. Both. That's what I do. Work hard, play hard. All I do is work, and then outside of that, we just take the family to go do new experiences, go enjoy life. Got to take my daughter to a tea party. We went to the Renaissance Fair dressed up as pirates. We did do that. We're just running and gunning. Meanwhile, I'm trading meme coins. I'm trading futures. We're continuing to stack utility. We continue to grow the business. We continue to serve more and more people. August, summertime slowdown, we're going to be moving faster than ever before, and I would encourage you guys to do the same. I'm not going to give you financial advice, but I'm going to tell you that now's the time to double down while everybody else goes on vacation. Yep. I'm going camping in August here too. I got a camping trip planned here. And I am going to try to go off grid for a little bit, and leave crypto alone. But I'm going to have to tell all my partners that, Caleb and Brown, hey, we got our orders placed, right? Okay, I'm going off grid. Okay, I'm going to be Riverside. I'll have my orders placed on my XRP meme coins or whatever else I'm doing. XRP futures, getting ready to short Bitcoin again once it pops up again. Get all the orders set before I head off grid for a camping trip. But that's why it's a summer slowdown. Market makers taking advantage of low volume. They push everybody out. I mean, look at what they've done. Why is it so volatile? Why did this happen? They just made $400 million. That was in the last 4 hours. Earlier this week, they made 600 million, almost 700 million. That's over $1 billion that they've taken from us. So if you're wondering why, there's your answer. Follow the money. It's leaving our pockets and it's going to the market maker magicians, as I call them. Charles Brewer, thank you for the 20 spot. ZBCN has been great. Thanks, Zach. I love to see the bounce on ZBCN. We called it running up. We called it pulling back. We called it popping up again. And that's where it's at right now with ZBCN. I saw that it was back up again today while the rest of the market was down. Absolutely love to see it. It almost broke above 0.006. Look at that on ZBCN. Still holding half a penny now. Still holding half a penny on ZBCN. Nice little runner. I don't know how many times I mentioned it. DIA, I think I only mentioned this maybe once or twice. This is one too that I doubled up We doubled up last month. That was a 100% trade on the DIA. DIA. That was a good one. But see, I'm not waiting around here in this space right now. When I'm moving in on these momentum plays, it's not a bag that I'm holding at all. In, out, 100%, thank you, come again. That's how you play this market, folks. Let's get caught up on our super chats here. Crypto Clay, thank you for the 20 spot, brother. Love you, Zach. Keep up the good work. Did you see David Sachs' ties to Zebek? Good stuff. I did not. David Sachs, Zebek. Well, the Zebekians, they like to make up riddlers, or said they like to make up riddles. Just like so many, they try to imitate what we got here in the XRP community. They try to, and this ship, I guess Zebek is the name of this type of ship. And so the Zebekians, they say, oh, the Perseverance ship actually connects back to Zebek. I love it. I love it. That's great. Chosen One Collecting says, I like the hats, but XRP Army underwear would be sick. I appreciate that, my friend. Dennis, thank you for the 2 spot. Bo showed he was nervous because he doesn't know. Exactly. Bo, these guys, they know they're out of place. They know they're out of line. They know what they're doing. They're not dumb. Oh, Bitcoin. Let me take a moment to tell you why Bitcoin's unique. Bro, it's 2025. We need to move trillions on a daily basis. Please step aside. Okay? No, we need to actually become the crypto capital of the world. And it's not done by buying and holding Bitcoin, and there's nothing to run on Bitcoin. So please get out of our way. Thank you. Thank you. It's just that simple. Dennis, thank you. That one guy, thank you for the 5 spot. Yeah. I'm not going to say those names. That one guy. Judgment is coming in a major way. I know. It's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. Cheers, everybody. Hope you guys are having a good one out there. Let's go rapid fire Q&A with it. Yep. Why the hold up on the BlackRock ETF? What are they waiting for? They're probably accumulating a position before they go live. That's how these guys operate. I actually spoke with somebody last month in a one-on-one session, which, by the way, if you guys are looking to sign up for a one-on-one, just go to the tab on my website in the community resources, and there's a link there for you to sign up through my Calendly. And so you can just go through and sign up there. I know a lot of people have been sending us emails asking how to sign up for the one-on-ones. So it's just within the community resources. You'll find my Calendly link where you'll be able to lock down a time with me. And now's the time where you'll want to lock it down. Don't wait for the price to pop, because then my schedule fills up quickly. It's one of those things where it ebbs and flows. When things are chill, people are sitting back, not taking action. When things pop off, everybody's in a rush. And we don't want to be in a rush. Now's not the time to be rushed, but it is the time to be consistently making your moves and preparing, because it's going to come and go very quickly. Zach, is that judgment linked to? Yes. Yep. Yes. Let's go rapid fire. Do I factor in astrology to your predictions? No, only into timelines. Dylan, good question. Only into timelines. When you study the elite and what they worship and how they operate, that's why. I'm not going to go into details here. I'm just going to leave it at that. When you study how these guys operate, they live off of showing it to your face hidden in plain sight. It's how they mock us, is by showing us what they're going to do before they actually do it. And so, and they worship different things. I'm not going to get into it here, but when you understand and study that and the calendars that they operate on, the calendar that we operate on, what dates matter to them most, and you just look back at history, all the way back to biblical times, there's a reason for it. Let's go keep on with the rapid fire Q&A. We're approaching 1 hour. I'll probably go for a little bit longer here. Did I miss a super chat? I missed a big super chat here from Nick. Nick. Big hundo. Get him, Zach. I bought the dip again. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Damien, I don't know what currency that is. ARS? 100 ARS? Not sure what currency that is, but thank you, Damien. Did we print a local bottom? What do you guys think? Yeah, so as you just saw from Nick, I mean, this is a guy who literally just super chatted me a big hundo and bought the dip. I'm telling you guys, these guys are coming. Shout out to Nick, shout out to everybody else. These guys, I mean, these people see it. Just like so many of us have seen it too. It's one of those, once you see it, you can't unsee it. The fundamentals, the partnerships, and then when you understand what comes next, and the DeFi explosion too. And the thing that happens here for XRP in the XRP Ledger ecosystem is it's not just DeFi on a retail level, it's DeFi on an institutional level, just like David Schwartz explained earlier this week. Why are all the banks not live on the XRP DEX today? Because they can't be. They have to comply with AML, KYC, and so they have to know everybody that's in the network. And so they can't participate in a liquidity pool where a bad actor could be participating, right? This is all about the change once we get the permission DEX, which is permission domain is the amendment for the XRP ledger. Okay. So for those of you guys that didn't hear me, I mentioned it right at the start of the show, so I want to mention it again. We still have a lot of time here. The first 10 orders that come in for tonight, I'm going to be giving you a free XRP family hat with your order. So the first 10 orders that come in for tonight's live show, I'll be going back after tonight's live, and just let us know if you want the Richardson 112 or the Flex Fit. Okay, we got these XRP family embroidered patches, and we're going to be giving away 10 of those for tonight's live show, okay? So just go to zachrector.com/shop. It's linked up down below, and that's where all of our XRP family merch is at. We got the dog tags, along with the hats, shirts, t-shirt, long sleeve, sweatshirts, crew neck, hoodie, and we got some new stuff that we're working on right now, waiting for inventory to get in, and then we'll have this new hat listed here shortly. We'll be doing another giveaway and another launch party when we have those ready to go too. Yeah, Zach's Stanley mug with top shelf. No top shelf over here. Cheap adult beverage over here. Cheap but cold adult beverage over here because XRP's back below $3. So no champagne, no top shelf. We keep it light. Zach, you taking Levi's bet? You know, some of these guys I just can't keep up with. I don't know. You know, so he said, oh, so and so said this, and this happened and that happened. Like, man, these guys are acting silly these days, aren't they? These guys are acting silly out here, aren't they? I don't have time to play around. You know, it's just one of those things. Zach's wife is amazing. Christy knows. Yep. I'm a lucky man. Very lucky man. As a minimum, what is a good benchmark to start with? Well, that's a very open-ended question. Very open-ended question. I want to make sure. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So, I would get tapped in with our community to get caught up to speed. Honestly, like, I'm not the type of guy that likes to shill my Discord like every single live show. In fact, we've had a lot of people come in, and so it's just a matter of making sure that everybody stays safe. I got to reiterate that first for folks that are coming into our Discord group. Our group is one of the most heavily attacked. I know that for a fact. Our group is one of the most heavily attacked so far. and they're coming for your XRP, they're coming for your crypto. So stay safe when you join our private community. But what happens is we can get you caught up to speed very quickly in there. Small investment in yourself, but it speeds up your timeline. You're at a point in the bull run where if you're just getting in here, you're just going to want to stack utility, and you're unless you got big money coming in, you're not going to be able to acquire a big enough bag in any of these cryptos to really flip anything too big. Right now, obviously, if you're showing up, hey Zach, it's my first day investing in crypto and I have 100 racks, well, that's a different conversation. But if you're just getting started with like $200 right now, just focus on making as much money as possible. And then once you get your list of good utilities that you're just going to dollar cost average into, that's, you just set up that model. Every paycheck, I have this much, you dump it into the crypto and you get back to working. You get back to, hey boss man, can I get some OT? Hey, how do you figure out how you get a raise? You start a side hustle. Most people should not be trying to trade right from the get-go. Most people should just be focused on stacking. And that's where you need to be at. Now, if you have money, well, even more reason to come into our Discord group and then just get caught up to speed right away. Right? If you're just starting with, wherever you're starting from, we were all there. We were all there. But the problem is starting at this point in the game, it's just a matter of catching up as fast as possible before these prices go up. And then, yes, they're going to come back down, but these floor prices are going to be established pretty high. And I just don't think it's worth the risk trying to play the game and timing this market this late in the game if you're new and you know nothing about trading, chart analysis, fundamental analysis, any of that. You're better off investing in your own education now versus trying to flip trades and play around, watching TikTokers and, playing around here. Okay. What's my take on XCN? I still think it goes 10 to 15 cents. Full disclosure, that's where I'm going to be offloading the rest of my bag. I've already dumped 3/4 of my XCN, and I'm going to dump the rest of it between 10 and 15 cents. Full disclosure. God, hopefully it goes that high. Yeah. A couple more super chats came in here. 1970 Legend. How many orders have been made to get the hats? Can't believe they aren't all gone by now. Let me check, Legend. 1, 2. We only have 2. Oh, yeah, because I was looking at orders that started before this show. Yeah, 2 orders so far. So, guys, come and get them. We got XRP family hats. The first 10 orders that come in. Richardson 112, or if you want the flex fit, let us know. All you got to do, place an order for the XRP family merch. And we will add you a free hat. Headwinds about to be behind us. Tailwinds. A lot of tailwinds. A lot of tailwinds behind XRP. Most people aren't ready for it. Jack J, thank you for the 20 spot. I'm sending you what I hope the value of XRP is this month. That's $19.99. Jack, I appreciate you. I think we got a 7 to 15. 20's not out of the cards, absolutely not. But I do think that we're at about a $7 to $15 range. I'm looking for 7 to 15 by September 7th. Yeah, Jack. So I think you're very close. I do, and I still believe in a $20 to $30 top this cycle. $20 to $30 top this cycle. So that's $7 to $15 by September 7th. And then we aren't done. We aren't done. We would do another finish move. Wave 5 later this year. Thoughts on Pengu? It's pretty impressive how far Pudgy Penguins has come. I laughed at this thing. I used to make fun of Pudgy Penguins. I used to make a lot of fun of the Pudgy Penguins guys, and some of them probably made big money on the NFTs and on the crypto here, Pengu. I haven't looked at it. I have not looked at it. Everyone says put assets in cold storage, but when they say have an exit plan, which would mean to have your stuff out on the exchange, doesn't sound like a safe method to me. Yeah, so this is where, for me, I just keep my long-term XRP off of all these platforms. And then the only place that I've been sending XRP lately is Caleb and Brown, just to be honest with you guys. Like, I have XRP on Uphold. I have some XRP on Coinbase. I'm doing all my trading for the futures on Coinbase. I trade a few other cryptos here and there on Coinbase, like DIA. I traded that over on Coinbase. But as far as XRP cashing out this bull run, I'm only sending it to Caleb and Brown right now. And I'm only sending what I'm willing to play with, and the rest of my long-term holdings stay off the platform. And that's the nice thing for those that cold storage is not an option. For those of you guys that don't trust yourself, you don't want to do cold storage, there's a lot of platforms rolling out now with institutional grade custody. Not just Caleb and Brown, but others too. But some platforms don't have as good liquidity. So watch that. One thing that I've been looking over lately is other, basically, folks that are in the same business as Caleb and Brown, folks that are offering institutional grade custody. And what you'll find is that the order book that they're working with is not as deep, and they don't have as many order books to tap into. That's where a brokerage like even Uphold or Caleb and Brown can have an advantage versus a individual platform that's partnered up with one exchange. For example, if a platform is partnered up with Coinbase, that's great. They're partnered up with Coinbase Prime, institutional grade custody. But the problem is the limitation of that order book. You have one order book, the Coinbase Prime, which is the institutional order book for Coinbase. You have one order book to sell to. Versus Caleb and Brown, they're tapped in with multiple liquidity partners. So that's something to keep in mind. Yes, somebody might have a little lower fee, but are they going to be able to get your order to actually go through? You need to check the limitations of the trading on whichever platform you're going to use. I want you guys to use the platform that treats you and serves you the best. Full stop. That's my incentive, is to bring you guys the best community resources for you and your situation. It's not one size fits all. For anybody that asks, what's the best crypto wallet? What's the best exchange? It depends what you're trying to do. I use multiple. It's like suggesting that you should just pull up to the job site with one tool in your tool belt. Nobody's going to do that. Right? And so sharpen your tools, clean your tools off, make sure you have good relationships with your tools. Okay? Some of you guys might have forgotten some of these platforms that you're set up on. I know that I have. I've set myself up on a lot of different platforms over the years, but now I'm honed in. TikTok, I don't want to forget about you guys. How you doing? Yeah, Caleb and Brown. Yeah. So just go to my website. You'll find a link for Caleb and Brown. And you're definitely going to want to tell them that I sent you over, because they're going to basically fast track your process. And they're going to prioritize our community. Okay? Kraken, I've heard great things about Kraken. I really have. Low fees. Once again, it's only one order book, though. So that's the problem and limitation with using an exchange, is you're relying on one order book. So that, you do have that limitation. The one thing I like right now is the Coinbase order book. A lot of Americans are coming into XRP on Coinbase. So I've actually found that there's decent liquidity on Coinbase. As long as things are hot, Americans are buying XRP and trading XRP, the Coinbase order book is pretty good. I found recently Uphold's been hitting us on the slippage. I don't like it. I sold XRP on Uphold, Caleb and Brown, and Coinbase. I got hit with no slippage at all on Caleb and Brown. I got hit with about a half penny of slippage on Coinbase, doing a market sell order. And on Uphold, I got hit with some pretty good slippage. Pretty good. It was about 8 cents. XRP was at 306. My order went through 296 or 298. So it's an 8 cent difference, 306 to 298. So watch that. Watch that slippage. Make sure you don't just have one option. Paul, thank you for the 5 spot. What's a good percentage to sell and at what prices as XRP rises? Well, that's just going to relate to your situation, right? If you want to sit down with me in a one-on-one, we could talk about that more in depth. And it's just a matter of I can tell you what I'm doing. I can't tell you how much XRP I have, but I can talk about the percentages that I'm doing. And I can also tell you, and I share all of my targets publicly. So, you know where I think XRP is going to go this cycle. And you know your situation. I'm scared of being able to get XRP back. Now, not as scared as I used to be. I used to be way more scared about that. And I was only going to play, with a small portion. Now I have a little bit more to play with, and I am going to sell off a little bit more than I had anticipated. But that's all XRP that I made from trading meme coins. So it's not my long-term holdings. I'm barely going to tap into my long-term holdings this bull run, most likely. Yeah. Let's get a quick price check. Blue Rock, thank you for the 2 spot. XRP mugs and shot glasses for the celebration. We need to get some. I told Roberta, she's the one that made me the coffee mugs. I told her that we got to get those cranking. Fei Long, thank you for the 5 spot. Will Figma drop tomorrow? It closed at 144, started at 36 after IPO this morning. These are very risky, right? Very risky. What are you trying to do? Right? Get into Figma at 144, hoping that it doubles up again. Too risky for me. I don't like it. I don't like these new IPOs. Your exit liquidity for the investment banks, as I explained earlier in this update. All of the money's made in private equity, dumping on our heads. And I make my, offensive joke about, us peasants on Robinhood get 1 share to get my point across about how rigged this system is. The investment bankers buy up all this equity, take it public. They finance the deal. They basically manufacture a pop on IPO day, and they get to cash in all the money, and we get to buy the IPO and hope to double up if we're lucky. And this is really only a phenomenon that's been happening lately because there's just so much. I mean, now it's so easy to get exposure. Think about a company going public just 10, 20 years ago. The company went public, and then registered investment advisors and fund managers around the world had to call around and physically get, people on the phone and maybe send an email. Hey, we got new shares available. Would you like some? Versus, hey, this company went live. Millions of people around the planet have the option to go buy. And you don't need to buy hundreds of shares. You could buy a fraction of a share. And this gets even better with the tokenization. And this is where the level playing field comes from that I'm so excited about. But as far as Figma, I'm not interested in that play. It's not a play that excites me. Too risky. I could be wrong, but I invest in what I know, which is XRP meme coins, futures, and utility assets. And then what I do is I just hunt. I hunt for motion. I hunt for momentum. And we do the momentum swing trades. Zach, your spirit to speak truth for righteousness is refreshing. God bless you. Thank you, Gregory. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Does anyone buy their crypto from Caleb and Brown? Bill, yes, I do. I bought ZBCN. Yeah. And I was talking with Caleb and Brown a bit about getting DAG listed. The only reason why they're not right now is because Fireblocks doesn't support it. And so they're going to try to figure out something on the custody side of that. And then they might be able to get Constellation listed on their platform. But I'm excited, yeah. All right, guys, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 orders in, so 5 people are getting free XRP family hats. Just let me know if you want the Richardson 112 or if you want the Flex Fit. We got both. This one's coming soon, very, very soon. And then we got our Trump XRP, our XRP family. Yep. I used to buy XRP 3 for $1. Now 1 XRP costs the same as a gallon of milk. Yeah. Yep. And that's what really starts to change your perspective. Is when you start, and I was, joking about, I got a buddy who brings me farm fresh eggs, chicken and duck, and he only charges $5. And I hit him up. I said, "Hey man, how do I get you paid up? You accepting crypto yet?" And he said, "No, I got this. Send me some money." I said, "Okay," which I don't do Venmo. I don't have Venmo, Cash App. I know a lot of the kids do. A lot of people my age do. I don't do those ones, and I kind of refuse to. Because I'm just like, I'm a crypto bro, man. I don't do Cash App and Venmo. If you need some money, I'll give you some cash. I do have PayPal. I do PayPal. That's it. I sold my soul to the PayPal mafia. And so I'll use PayPal, but I don't want to download another Cash App. I don't want to download a Venmo. And if you need $5 from me, I'll give you $5. You know what I'm saying? I don't. But I told my buddy, man, let's get you on some crypto. And it gets you thinking, because, okay, can I pay him? What do you want? 1 XRP per dozen? He's charging me $5 US. Maybe I can talk him down to 1 XRP. I'll get him a Joey wallet. Say, hey man, create a Joey wallet. And I'll start giving you 1 XRP per dozen. It's a slight discount. But, here soon it'll be a pretty good deal when that XRP turns into $15. But and this is when an asset goes above $1. It's such a huge psychological number. It's so, people underestimate this, and especially the move here as it goes, because look at Bitcoin now people look at, are you a full Bitcoiner? If you have one whole Bitcoin, you have over $100,000. 1 Bitcoin can go buy you a very nice car. 1 Bitcoin could be a down payment on a house. So you start to price and look at these things differently. And I was listening to a Bitcoin Maxi the other day in a space talking about how, eventually everything's going to be priced in Bitcoin. And it's like, okay, chill, bro. Chill. Relax. We're going to help you guys out by tokenizing Bitcoin on the XRP ledger. It'll be okay. We're going to help out you Bitcoin bros. Don't worry. Despite what you've done, stabbing us in the back, we're still going to take care of you guys. It's okay. Right? We're not going to, price everything in Bitcoin. Okay, relax, brother. But it's the mentality of an early Bitcoiner who has a bunch of Bitcoin. And he starts to look around and says, okay, look at this $1 million house. What's that to me? 10 Bitcoin? For these guys that have hundreds and thousands of Bitcoin. And so for us down the road, it's going to be a similar spot where, we can play around with the math. Right, what do you want to run with? You want to run with XRP at $10, or should we run with XRP at 10,000? Somewhere in between. And you start to do the math on that. Right? And it really starts to change your mind. And we're still early. People are still starting to understand that for 1 XRP, it's going to cost you $3. Soon 5. Then 7. Then we come back down. Oh, Zach, we told you it was going to come back down. And I'll say, yeah, that's what I expected too. We've been talking about the run up to $10 and then a pullback. Not going to stop us from still running up to double digits. 1 XRP will be 10, 20, and eventually $30 and beyond. Zach, can you point me to someone that can help me with AMMs? I'm already kind of significantly involved, but I don't fully understand them. Michael, I did, if you look into the search bar, how to XRP AMM, I have a video on how to do it, but it sounds like you've already done it. what you need to understand is that you have effectively sold off both assets into the pool for liquidity pool tokens, and you are going to earn more of the asset that is not doing as good against the other. I know that sounds confusing for some. It even sounds confusing to myself. It's understanding the AMMs is a little confusing. For example, right now, do you want to be in the XRP RLUSD liquidity pool? Well, we got to ask ourselves, do we think the XRP is going to appreciate against the dollar, or is the dollar going to appreciate against the XRP? Right? If XRP is going to be appreciating against the dollar, we're going to be earning more dollars. So if you want less XRP and more dollars, now would be a good time to be in the AMM, assuming that it's going to go up. Because it's basically going to be dollar cost averaging out of XRP into RLUSD for you. Now, this will be done by traders using the DEX and using the AMM, but you've provided that liquidity. And so it's an algorithm that the ledger runs on its own, trading between the assets for you, and you're earning more of those tokens. And then when you go to cash out those tokens, you can single side withdraw, or you can double side withdraw. Either way. And for me, I'm looking at going into the AMM when XRP tops out this cycle. So when XRP goes up to like 20 or 30 bucks, then I'd look to go into the AMM liquidity pool, because it's basically going to be dollar cost averaging back into XRP for me. So if you go to my video and watch it, I show how it's done for those of you guys that need to know how it's done. But I'm going to be doing a follow-up on the AMM here shortly, and that'll break it down in a little bit more detail. I'll make my explanation a little bit more clean and concise so I can break this down. But I mean, it's a great opportunity for folks to earn yield off of your assets, but it's a dangerous thing if you don't know how it works, and you might be earning more of the wrong asset than you intended to. Now, where it's nice is when you have two assets that you want to hold. For example, I hold Sologenic, and I'm very bullish on Solo, and I'm also very bullish on XRP. So that might be a pool that I could consider, because either way, I'm going to be making assets that are both going to appreciate themselves in price, and they also have a very tight correlation. It's the biggest asset on the XRP ledger, Sologenic. And so what it does is it allows me to earn more of both. And I'm happy. And if I make a little bit more, and now, if you're really, trying to trade these things, you really have to understand these at a deeper level. You really do. It's not for everybody. But if it's like, hey, I have Casino Coin, I have XRP that I'm not doing anything with, let me throw a little bit over here and earn some yield. It's something that in the AMM video that I shared, I think that I shared how I made 70% on my money, but I would have made 400% had I just held XRP during that same time. And that's where impermanent loss comes in. And so if you watch that video, I explain how I yeah, guys, I made 70% cash on cash. If you basically convert it into dollar terms, the XRP and Casino Coin that I put in, and then the XRP and Casino Coin that I pulled out, on a cash on cash basis, was 70% profit for 1 year. Not bad at all. But if I would have just held XRP popped by 400%. So you got to understand what you're doing in the AMM. But, get tapped in with our Discord group. And in the meantime, I'm trying to put out more lessons on the XRP Ledger DEX and AMM and like basic tutorial videos, because it's been years, but we still need these tutorial videos. There's just still really not that many. And then as XRP DeFi expands and we get new wallets, more DEX interfaces, etc., we're going to need those basic tutorial videos. And so I'm trying to get more of those out. Last weekend, I just dropped a video on how to use the XRP DEX, which is a great place to start. If you don't even know the XRP has a DEX, if you've never used it, Even if you don't think that you need it, I think that it's a great tool because it puts you in full control, right? Be your own bank was the whole promise of crypto. This is how you actually do it, is you store and hold the keys to your crypto, not your keys, not your crypto. And then you understand how to use the XRP Ledger DEX. So you cut out all middlemen, all middlewomen out of there. And it's just you and the XRP Ledger DEX. And so I did a tutorial on how that's done over this last weekend. It wasn't that watched. It's content that does not do as well as XRP Hopium, which might not surprise many of you. But I'm still putting it out for the new people that need to get caught up to speed. And even for the old folks, I know you guys got big bags of XRP and you don't even know how to use the DEX. I know you guys are guilty of that. It's okay. And I'm not saying that you need to trade meme coins. What I'm saying is that understand what tools are at your disposal. And for example, if you did want to cash out some XRP and capture some profits, you could use the XRP Ledger DEX to go from XRP to RLUSD, no middleman, just paying the ledger fee. 12 drops. That's not bad at all. But if you don't know how to use it, you won't be able to tap into that. Now let's see how many orders we got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we got room for 4 more orders, 4 more free hats going out here tonight. XRP Family, Richardson 112, or FlexFit. Just let us know in the notes when you place your order, and we will get that off to you. I see some super chats came back in. Thank you. Yep. Check the order status of 7189. Yeah, that's already shipped. I know it's already shipped. Everything that came in, unless you ordered something in the past 48 hours, your order has shipped. Yeah, everything shipped. We're all caught up other than the last 2 days. Right now, our turnaround time is 24 to 48 hours on all shipments, but please check your spam. What's happening is we're sending you guys the tracking information, and it's going to your spam email. Okay, so any inquiries, just hit us merch@zachrector.com with your order number. We'll always make sure that you're taken care of, okay? E-York, thank you for the 10 spot. Zach, love your show. Adding on to a prior comment, the elites have to show you what will happen to reduce the negative karma of their evil deeds. That's why. It's all about that, what is it, karmic energy? Is that what they call it? The woo-woo. Saw some woo-woo at the Renaissance Fair. My daughter had to get a bottle of magic potion. You shake it up in it. I was thinking to myself, man, some of these crypto guys are serving up some magic potion. They're serving up something, all right. I don't know if I'd take a sip of that. That's the forbidden fruit right there. I wouldn't take a bite of that. You guys stay safe out there. Karmic energy. There you go. $100%. Okay, let's wrap up with just a few more comments, questions. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. I'm giving away 10 hats, so here you have it. Get on in there. There's a few more orders left. XRP family hats. Thoughts on XLM tomorrow? Yeah. That's scary that Link2's bankrupt. Well, Link2 shouldn't have gone bankrupt. That's a whole situation. I don't have time to address it in tonight's episode, but they shouldn't have gone bankrupt. It's a private equity private equity vultures. Private equity vultures coming in to steal our Ripple shares. That's what's happening. I just to be straightforward with you guys. You know, people are making allegations about Bill Saris, the founder and CEO of Link2, and that's all going to come out. And it looks like there was some wrongdoing by Bill. To which extent, how bad was it? You know, everybody's got to, everybody's trying to clickbait it. Everybody's trying to be the first one to cover it. Wall Street Journal already put out a hit piece on it. But there's always two sides to every story. And I'm not here to say that Bill's innocent. I'm just here to say that there's no reason why Link2 should have gone through bankruptcy. But we are. So we're up against that. And this hearing coming up on August 5th, which is going to be next week, is going to be absolutely critical. August 5th is the next Link2 hearing, and it's going to be a big one. I'll do a whole update on it. That one guy, thank you for the 5 spot. Who's getting a Phoenix tattoo at $100? I will not, because I will not be getting any tattoos. Okay. I'm not a tattoo guy myself. I like you guys. You guys get your tattoos. I don't ever see myself getting one, personally, but that's all right. I know some of you guys are going to get XRP tatted all over you. 589. I already saw a bunch of XRP tats at XRP Las Vegas, actually. You guys are crazy. Christy says, I'm getting it in a few weeks. There you go. You guys are absolutely crazy. You'd like an episode with Vandal and Verson? Yeah, the Black Swan Capitalists. Yep, I like those guys. Oh yeah, looking to get the merch. The merch is over at zachrector.com. Linked up in the bio on TikTok there for you guys. Yeah, Yolanda, just look up XRP, how to XRP AMM. I purposely titled it that way so that like someone who's using it like a Google search, right? YouTube is like one of the biggest search platforms. And so I kind of typed it out incorrect with improper grammar, and it's not the proper way to say it. It's the XRP Ledger AMM. But for the average person, what are they going to type in? How to XRP AMM. How keep it simple, stupid. And so that's what I titled the video. So just search in the search bar, how to XRP AMM, and my video will pull up. Yeah, Philip, thank you for reminding everybody. Please hit the thumbs up on the way out. We really do appreciate it. And if you don't like us, that's fine too. Just make sure that you smash the thumbs down as well too. We just need to know that you stopped by. It really means the world to us, okay? What would be a good buy order price to put in right now? Well, I can't give you financial advice, but if I was going to buy more XRP, well, I'd be looking at it right now at $3. The fib level of support below us was 296. We broke through it briefly to 293. So see what happens here. XRP is already back up to $3. We'll probably finish this day green, right? Yeah, I mean, I just wouldn't wait around. I was waiting for us to go back test below $3 again here today. Once I saw they were pushing it down on the daily close, and then they did the daily close below that highest monthly close ever, I said, okay. And so I was anticipating them to push us down below $3 one more time, and they did it really fast. It went down to 293, and then it's just been bought up. There's not much of a reason for us to go lower unless there's a black swan event around the corner that I can't see. But even if there is, we're not, I mean, there's just too much buy pressure on this asset. 296 is the fib level below this. I don't know where support would be at below that. Probably 270 if I had to guess. Without pulling a fib and looking at it right now, I would just guess it'd be around 270, but I don't see that. I don't see that because as the asset already showed us, it went to a new all-time high. It's holding above $3. And so the psychology in the market sentiment now is just going to be anytime XRP goes below $3, buy as much as possible. I mean, I'm telling you guys, I'm personally talking to people that are deploying tens of thousands of dollars to XRP like during these moments today and the previous dips that we've had. I've been having one-on-one calls with people that tell me they're ready to deploy another 6 figures to XRP. They are not shaking. They want the price to go down. Shoot, some of the people in my Discord have been talking about the price going back down. You know, we will not be shaken out. We will not be shaken out. Why isn't DEG on more exchanges? I just think that a lot of these platforms don't want to give up or they don't have the money to get on exchanges when they're first getting started. And for DEG, I think that they were just so focused on enterprise partnerships and working with the government. They've been a B2B model from the beginning and working with the government. And so I don't think that their priority has been, let's get exit liquidity from retail. It's been, let's continue our work with the Department of Defense. Let's continue our work. And they onboarded Panasonic for a Metagraph. So you know the laptops that you see in cop vehicles, you know, the cops have the laptop, or even ambulance, fire trucks, all of them now have the devices, right? And these Panasonic Toughbooks, that has the integration of the Constellation network in it now. And Panasonic's running a Metagraph, you know, on the Constellation network or for the Constellation network. You know, Panasonic, the old company, they make TVs, they make a little bit of everything. They make the Toughbooks, which are the laptops that our military uses, law enforcement personnel, etc. And Panasonic has built out their own and is running their own Metagraph now. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, Rob. Rob says, isn't it funny? We are the 5% of the world, but this is very important. Like our future depends on it, and people degen meme coins. Well, we're even a smaller percentage. That's what's crazy, is we're like 0.002 of the world that actually has like a real bag of XRP. And I was thinking about this earlier today. The psychology and mentality of the young guys getting into this game, like my age and younger, is I have a bag of money. And for example, these guys come in, let's say they, you know, they got some birthday money. They did their chores at home and mommy gave them the allowance money. They've been saving up their allowance money and they have $5,000 to spend. Are these guys looking at utilities? Are these guys looking at fundamentals? No. They found a funny meme coin. They found something, you know, a funny meme, and that's what they're going to throw their money at. Or they're going to watch one of these slick talking TikTokers who's going to have a trading course for them. And they're going to take that $5,000 and they're going to spend $1,000 on the trading course from TikTok Guru, bro. And TikTok Guru, bro, is going to tell them to buy this bag of crap, you know, meme coins, or give them the model with their trading bot, or, you know, give them the program. And they're going in and they're not looking to stack any utility. They're not doing any long-term utility investments. They're taking their whole bag in leverage trading, 50x leverage. They're taking their whole bag and going into meme coins. That's what these younger guys are doing. Even people older than me too. And the reason why I bring that up is because it's during moments like this where these guys get shaken out, because they come into XRP late. They've been playing around in the memes. They've been playing around in Solana, and they finally come into XRP late. After it goes back above $3, they say, okay, now it's time to get in XRP. They come in with a levered up long, And those are the crypto bros that just got $1 billion liquidated from them in the past week. And it's just rinse and repeat until hopefully they finally learn their lesson and they start stacking real utility. And then if you are going to trade, trading with a size of your bag that's reasonable so that you don't get your whole position liquidated. You know, these guys are taking rent money and trying to double it up and triple it up on a funny meme by next week so they can pay rent and take their girlfriend out. Well, they probably don't have a girlfriend. You get my point. And this is the crypto market up until now because we've been waiting for regulations and institutions. The institutions are plowing ahead, laughing at this silly stuff going on, while they sit down and have serious conversations with the real players like Ripple and others, while the government, Department of Defense, signs new contracts with Constellation Network. Big difference. It's the Wild West, absolutely. Yeah. Now, let's check in here. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, wait, which order was this? 8, 9. Okay. Okay, so we have. Okay. Sorry, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We still got 4 spots open. Okay, I'm going to give you guys 2 more minutes and then I'm going to close her off. 2 more minutes if you want a free XRP family hat in the Richardson 112 or the Flex Fit. Get your order in. Get your order in before I kill the live show here in just a couple minutes. Let's go. Final comments and questions. Can you talk about the reverse carry trade? Interest rate decision on Japan should have came out today. Let's go BOJ. BOJ rate decision. BOJ holds rate steadies open to future rate hikes as it happened. Okay, so they're keeping rates right where they're at. The yen rises after BOJ rate decision. So that's a sell-off in the bonds for the Japanese yen. Okay, so that's gonna speed up the carry trade. Yep, that's gonna speed up the carry trade. If that bond yield's going up, that's gonna be problematic. Yeah, and you're gonna see the global margin call really break out this year. Because everybody's been expecting lower rates. They just haven't come. Powell's going to stick it to President Trump. He's playing his role. And I don't think that we'll get rate cuts in September. And so, that reverse carry trade, it's going to start to exacerbate 100%. Yep. But it's just part of a bigger global margin call as well, too. Right? Right now, America, we're talking about, Trump saying that Powell is costing us trillions of dollars because we're making those interest payments while rates still remain higher. So it's impacting everybody, us too. Where would you sell ZBCN if you had a bag? Corey, I would do it on Caleb and Brown. Yeah, I know you can get it on Uphold. I traded my ZBCN on Caleb and Brown. I had no slippage. I paid my trading fee, but then when I went to cash it out, it was at my bank account the next day and I didn't pay a withdrawal fee. So that That's the Caleb and Brown experience that I've had so far, and then everybody else has had nothing but great things to say about Caleb and Brown. Zach, you are the only high-profile content creator influencer that will talk about ZBCN. Thank you. Yeah, and the reason why I'm not scared to talk about anything is because I just tell you guys how I feel. I'll tell you guys, when I'm bullish, but I'll also tell you the red flags. You guys know I make fun of the bags that I hold. I say, yeah, I got this bag of crap. I'm frustrated with it. Not going to name any names, cough, cough, flare. But I still hold it. It is going to go up in price. And I am going to take profit. I'm frustrated. It's a good example. I'm going to talk about red flags. ZBCN, they've been very good about their transparency. One of the things that I talked about in my deep dives, I said they got to get more transparent. We need to see faces. We need to see activity with partners. They've been doing it every single week. New partners, onboarding more people to the cards. They're going to speak at the Lord of, in the UK, whatever they're doing, the House of Lords. They went and go speak over there. They're showing up. They're showing up, bringing on new partners. And then they just put out a tweet today about compliance, how they're on track to be ISO compliant by the end of this year. They're on track for compliance with MiCA, I think, in the next few months. And so they're coming into compliance with basically all the major jurisdictions too. So I'm like, okay, I understand that the price action from the outside looking in, some people might be saying, oh, this is just another pump and dump. Some people thinking, oh, this is just another scam. And one of the reasons why I was bullish on it too is because it's a real utility play on Solana, I should say, not Solano, Solana. And the Solana bros are getting wiped clean over there in their memes. And so they're looking for real utility too. And they can swap right on chain from Solana or whatever bag of crap they have on Solana to a real utility play in ZBCN. But yeah, man, we're just going to keep it real. We're just going to keep it real. Does Zach do quant? I don't hold quant. No, I don't. Yeah, Shane, exactly. Shout out to 68J and CKJ. They cover ZBCN too. Yep. Yeah, somebody had told me that CKJ was on Zebek a long time ago, and I'm sure he was. I know that he's found some good plays, and yeah, it's all love. I mean, I've always given credit to my community. That's how it is with most of these cryptos. I say, it's not me that found a lot of these. It's you guys. I get you guys who tell me, hey, Zach, I'm in this one. What do you think? And then I actually take the time to go look, and sure enough, you guys found a little gem. Now, most of the time, I question some of the plays, but you guys are the ones that help me find these plays. And I appreciate you for that big time. Now we got a couple more super chats that came in. Salute coming in with a hot homage to the legends. NFT launch tomorrow, fam. Sir Ooze, thank you for letting us know. Thank you for the 10 spot. I appreciate that. Salute. Good. NFTs, good. Good. That's all I have to say. I like activity. I like motion. Am I going to buy one? No, but God bless it. Go do it. I love it. We want that activity. If you're going to be a degen, come do it on the XRP ledger, please. Thank you. Go burn a bunch of XRP buying memes, NFTs. Lock up the XRP, burn the XRP, move the XRP. While we wait for the institutions, let these degens run it up for us. You can laugh at them and make fun of them all you want. I like to do so as well. But these degens are moving billions of dollars on networks like Solana. That's real money. It's tokenized stupidity flowing back and forth in a PvP environment, but, it makes the number go higher. And it also burns up XRP too. Smile Guy, thank you for the 2 spot. Hi, Zach. BMT market cap prediction by end of year. Ooh. It's a very tough one because I have no idea what the BMT market cap is at right now. Let me pull up BMT right now. The most recent meme that I've gone into is the farm token, FARM. I was listening to their space the other day and I got even more bullish, and so I bought more. That was yesterday. These coins can just fly though because they're just so small. Okay, so what I did here is I'm going to the market cap chart priced in US dollars so that we have an idea of where this thing was at. Okay, so here's Bitcoin maxi tiers. There's that chart. So yeah, it broke above 4 million. I remember that. Yeah, so right now it's at 500,000. We were just over 1 million right at the end of 10 days ago, right? So this thing's come back down a little bit. It's an asset that's paired up with XRP. So when XRP appreciates against the dollar, this market cap's going to go up in dollar terms. So that's why that market cap went back up. So, I mean, just based off that, you could easily see the market cap of this asset going back up, double and triple again, just based off of what XRP is going to do. So I think that you could easily see this one going back above 4 or 5 million. You know, what do we got right now as far as holders go? 2,000 holders. So, you know, there's a decent amount of holders there, but these projects are all just so small, so young, so much upside. I mean, if XRP does a 10x from here, just on staying correlated with XRP, you would see this thing go up to 5 million. Right? If XRP does a 5x from here, it goes up to 2.5. Now, if it appreciates against XRP, you'll see even more. So yeah, I think it has a chance to run up back close to its all-time high again. Yep, I think that we could definitely see this one back up at its all-time high in market cap versus US dollar terms. Yeah. Yep. And that's kind of the nice thing about the memes is you can use them obviously to, you know, make more money, but you also can just use them to make more XRP if that's the move. And that's kind of what I've been doing. And then I just cash out that XRP as I want to. So I've been sending all of that XRP to Caleb and Brown, and then I just set my orders up over there. It's working pretty well. What's with the BXE token on the XRP ledger? Is that a scam? I haven't heard of that one. Not going to be able to look it up here, but I'll check into it and I'll let you know. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by tonight. I think that we did get our last orders in there. Yep, we have filled up all of our orders for the free hats. So if you did order a hat here tonight, it looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Order 11 is Patrick. And Patrick, I'm going to let you come in. You're from Canada. And we just hit you with the 35% tariff. So I'm going to let you slide in. We're going to do 11 hats. We're giving 11 hats. That's all for tonight. Come on back next week, though. We're expected to have inventory in for our new simple low-key XRP hats. And so we'll be doing another giveaway next week. Come on back for that. Thank you for everybody for stopping by and supporting the cause, whether you're just liking it, sharing it out far and wide, or supporting us by using our community resources linked up down below. If you're looking to schedule a one-on-one session with me, our schedule is filling up quickly, so I'd recommend you take a look at that sooner rather than later. And then obviously we have our Discord group available as well. You get the full access to me in there as well. Stay safe. Watch out for the impersonators and scammers on all of these platforms. I will never direct you to move crypto ever. We don't accept crypto for anything right now. Only US dollars. So if you think you're talking to me and I'm telling you to do something with your crypto, I'm not. Okay? Come into our Discord group. You add me as a friend. Send me a DM and I'll add you back as a friend. We'll have a direct line of communication. And you won't have to worry about these scammers who are literally paying to come into our Discord group. We're going to have to beef up security here because these scammers are relentless. And it's only going to pick up from here, guys. Please secure that bag. Stay safe out here. Keep some liquidity ready. No reason to panic at all. I still think that we're on target for a $4 to $5 XRP by August 12th. You heard me right. In the next 12, 13 days. I think that we will have seen XRP above $4. By September 7th, I think that $7 to $15 is in play. I like to keep it conservative. We could see more, and I don't think that we're done. I think that we will see a lot more of this bull run. And I'm very excited about some of our other utility plays as well, like XLM and others. But get tapped in. If you guys have any comments or questions that I didn't get to on tonight's live show, we'll be back live every Tuesday, Thursday we do it. And then if you want to get in with our Discord weekly calls, we do those every Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern. Gives you an opportunity to ask me anything you'd like to. And we always address all of those questions in there too. I appreciate everybody for stopping by tonight. I will see you guys tomorrow. God bless you all. Thank you so much.